Students, welcome you all on the behalf of RAHUL ANAND tutorials. So as you know that I am RAHUL ANAND and this is somewhat around my channel whose name is actually the RAHUL ANAND tutorial. So now let's begin with the very interesting topics which are often being asked in terms of your Neet, often the Aiims, often the All India Pre-Medical Examination. So these are literally belonging from which of the chapters of your book. So these are derived from the here meaning of the living world. So now let's understand about these means what are actually the nomenclature. So nomenclature are what? So nomenclature is the scientific method of naming the microorganisms. So you are often very clear about what are actually the microorganisms. So when we are talking about these cases, which what are actually the microorganisms. So you have to understand the certain facts in it, such as what? So you will be having the certain types of the parts, such as what? Such as the protists. Often what? Tell me, the fungi, as well as the plants, as well as the animals. Now, so let's understand about these cases in terms of the brief. So when we are talking about what are actually the what? The protists. So these are what? So these are often known as the first animals. Often these are known as what? So these are known as the purely eukaryotes. Now, so when we are talking about these cases, means what are actually the eukaryotes? Remember? So these will be having the defined types of. It will be having the defined type of nucleus. Now, so when we are talking about these, meaning terms of what are actually the nucleus? Tell me. So it will be holding actually the genetic material. So genetic material will be present in terms of your nucleus, and the one with cells which will be having what? The one cells which will be having the nucleus coming under what case? Or rather the defined nucleus coming under your eukaryotic cell. So these are literally being present in terms of what? In terms of your prokaryotes. Now, after that you are having the fungi case. So fungi are what? Tell me. So these are the multicellular decomposers. Often when we are talking about these cases, means what are actually the decomposers? Very clear. Playing important role to what? To particularly decode the here in the complex food or either the complex organic substances in terms of what? Processing it in terms as well as accommodating in terms for what? In terms for maintaining the healthy status with reference to our environment. So we are having the complex food in terms of our food ingredients only. Suppose that we are having the fruits, so it will be having what things? So it will be having the calcium, the molybdenum, often what? The phosphorus, the nitrogen, then what? Then the calcium, the potassium. So these are literally being present in terms of the coded structure with reference to what? With reference to your fruit or either any kind of the organic substances. So these should be literally promoted as well as descended down in terms to maintain what? So this should be promoted as well as decoded with reference to maintain the healthy status. With reference to what? With reference to maintain the healthy status of our environment. Now, so suppose that these microorganisms or either the decomposers will not be present, then what will be happening? There will be the accumulation of the different types of the waste ingredients. So we are often having the two broad kinds of these, meaning term of the decomposers. So these are what? So these are the aerobic decomposers. Then what? The anaerobic decomposers. So the one which will be promoted in terms of the life supporting mechanism coming under what case? So it will be coming under your aerobic decomposers. The one which are particularly what? Growing in terms of the absence or either what? Which are growing in terms of the absence of the oxygen or either growing in terms of the presence of the carbon dioxide coming under what case? So it will be coming under your anaerobic decomposers. Now, after that, in terms of the fungi, when we are talking about these cases, you have to understand the certain facts in it. So the best example with reference to these will be what? So you will be having the algae, often what? So you will be having the algae, then the plasmodomonas. So plasmodomonas are what? So these are the type of the fungi, such as you are having the Puccinia, what? The rust fungi, etc. Now, so we are often having the different types of the components in terms of what? In terms of your fungi. So these are having the particular type of the structure which is known as what? So these are known as the here mycelium. Often these means what? The unit of the mycelium will be coming under what case? So it will be coming under, tell me. So it will be coming under your hyphae case. Often when we are talking about the case in terms of the fungi, you have to understand the certain facts in it. So most of the species are generally being found, but they are often the certain type of the species which are not being found in term from what? In term belonging from the here, when in term from the fungi case. After that you are very clear about what are actually the animals. Remember, the one which will be performing the locomotion, often in which there will be the presence of the what? The WBC, etc. So white blood cell or either the red blood cell coming under what case? So it will be coming under what? So this will be present in term of your what? In term of your animal cells. After that, when we are talking about the case of the plants, so this will be not promoting as well as doing what? So this will be not promoting the locomotion phenomena. Often will be doing what? So it will be doing the accepting the energy in terms of what, the help of what mode, by the help of these, meaning in terms of the photosynthesis. Remember the role, so the chemical energy will be particularly being transformed by the help of the solar mechanism. So these are coming under what case? So these will be coming under your photosynthesis case. Now, so often you are very clear. So these will be, plants will be what? So this will actually be what? Positively phototropic, negatively geotropic. In terms of what? In terms of your plants. So now let's understand about these cases, which what are actually the binomial nomenclature. So when we are talking about these cases, you have to understand the certain names in it, such as what? So we are having the Callias lineolus. So Callias lineolus proposed what? So your Callias lineolus proposed the most accepted system of nomenclature. Often he was particularly belonging from which of the location? So he was actually the Swedish botanist. Often when we are talking about these cases, you have to remember the certain facts in it. So these were particularly being accepted with reference to the after or either later sometime by the help of what? By the help of the ICBN, then the ICJN. So these are the particular broad type of the organization. So remember, so we are often having the here I mean the scientists in terms of the micro level, but when their particular experiments are literally being promoted with reference with the help of the food proof. So these are particularly given the what? The particular specialized platform in term to do well in terms of the national flora as well as what? As well as the international flora. So likewise, here we are often having the two broad types of the organizations, such as what? Such as the ICZN, then the ICBN. So find here. Often when we are talking about these cases in terms of the binomial nomenclature, so you have to remember the certain facts in it, such as what? So according to your binomial nomenclature, the names of the plants, then what? The animals should be resembling the two broad types of the names in it. So these are actually what? So these are the generic name, then the specific name. So now let's understand about these means what are actually the generic name. So when we are talking about the generic name, so the name which will be coming under from what? So the names which are actually coming under from the generation to generation. Coming under what case? So it will be coming under your generic name. After that we are having the specific name. So the name which will be coming under from what? Which are particularly of the here meaning of the individual or are particularly specific as well as are particularly what? Are particularly individualized. So this will be coming under what case? So this will be coming under your here in the specific names. So now let's understand about these cases in terms of what? In terms of the example. So you are having the Magnifera indica. So these are actually what? So these are coming under the case of the mango. Then what? Then we are having the babool. In terms of what? In terms of the Acacia aerobica. Now, so let's understand about these cases in terms of the breed. So here Magnifera is directly proportional for what? The Magnifera is directly proportional for the here in terms of the generic name. After that the here in terms of the indica will be directly proportional for the specific name. Likewise here in terms of the baboon. So we will be having the Acacia coming under from what case? So it will be coming under from your generic name. Then the aerobica coming under what case? So it will be coming under from your specific name. So find here. Now, when we are talking about these cases in terms of the binomial nomenclature, so you have to remember the certain types of the names in it. So we are having the Carolus lineolus. So there was certain type of the achievement with reference to what? With reference to your here in terms of the Carolus lineolus. So he proposed the particular book. Whose name was actually what? So whose name was actually the systematic. So he proposed the book in terms of what? In terms of the 10th edition. So you are remembering as well as understanding about what are actually the edition. So these are the update mechanism. So we are often having the different types of the cars. Remember, as well as by the help of the different types of the modification. We are in terms of the nowadays we are having the Renault, rather the Ford, in terms of the Mercedes. But literally, when we go back with reference to the old age, so we are having actually the smaller cars, often the Maxis. Likewise, by the help of the modification, in terms of what? In terms of the 10th edition, your Callias lineolus proposed the book. As well, when we are talking about these cases in terms of the book, so these books were proposed with reference to what of the era? So it was around here, minute of the 1758. So these books means in terms of what? In terms of the systematic nature are generally known as what? So these are known as the binomial nomenclature. In terms of what? In terms of the nowadays. So this is somewhat the achievement with reference to what? With reference to the here when we are talking about the achievement of the Carolus lineolus. So find here. Now, when we are talking about these cases in terms of the rules of the binomial nomenclature, so you have to understand the certain facts in it, such as what? So your genus should be written what? So your genus should be written in the first often when we are talking about these cases, means what are actually the genus. So you are very clear about that. So it will be representing what? So it will be representing the particular genes. Often you are very clear about that, means what are actually the genes. Now, as well as when we are talking about the case, so these should be written, means what? Your genus should be written in terms of what? In terms of the capital letters. So find here. Often when we are talking about these, means what are actually the genus as well as the species. So you have to understand the common thing in it. So these are actually what? So these are the biological name. Often when we are talking about these cases in terms of the generic name as well as the specific name. So you have to remember the certain facts in it, such as what? So these are actually what? So these are actually the biological names. As well as when we are talking about these in terms of the generic name as well as the specific name. So these should be written in terms of what? So these should be written in terms of the capital letter. What? The generic name. With reference when we are talking about these, it's what? The specific name. So it should be written in terms of what? So it should be always written in terms of the smaller letters. As well as when we are talking about these cases, means in terms of the generic name as well as the specific name. So these should be written in terms of the particular with reference to the capital letter as well as the smaller letter. As well as when we are talking in terms of what? In terms of the printing, or either when we are using our hands to write particularly. So in terms of that writing, so these should be particularly underlined separately. So why is it so necessary? This is due to because these particularly symbolize the specialized type of the names in it, such as we have understood about these. Means what are actually the magnifera, often the indica. So these are particularly the scientific name of what? The mango. In which the magnifera is directly proportional for what? It is directly proportional for the generic name, which is representing actually your genus. As well as the indica. So it will be representing what? So your indica will be representing the specific name. As well as when we are talking in the second case, in terms of what? So now let's proceed with reference to the second case. So what are actually the specific name? So these should be written in terms of what? Tell me. So this should be written in terms of the smaller letter. As well as when we are talking about the specific name, so these should be often what? So these should be easy in terms of the pronunciation. Such as what? Such as you remember about the case of the indica. Often when we are caring as well as understanding about the case of what? The human being. So our scientific name are what? So our scientific names are actually the here, I mean the Homo sapiens. In which Homo is directly proportional for what? So your Homo is directly proportional for the generic name. On the other hand, you are having the sapiens, and sapiens are directly proportional for the specific name. Often you are having the negro. So negro are directly proportional for what? So these are the subspecies. So you will understand about that in terms of the next lecture. So you understand what are actually the species, specific name. So these should be particularly easy to pronunciate. Find it. As well, when we are talking about the case in terms of the specific name, so this should be particularly quite bit specific nature, as like their name, in terms of the resemblance. So remember about the fact with reference to their name only, meaning in terms of the specific. Something related with the specific means what? Directly proportional for the particular case. So now let's understand with reference to the two broad examples. So you are having the Oryza sativa. So in this case, the Oryza is directly proportional for what? It will be directly proportional for your generic name. On the other hand, you are having the sativa. Sativa will be directly proportional for what? So it will be directly proportional for the specific name. Other best example is what? The Homo sapiens. Very clearly knowing. So in this case, you will be having the Homo directly proportional for the generic name, as well as the sapiens directly proportional for the specific name. After that, you are often having the negro. It is directly proportional for what? So these are directly proportional for the subspecies. Now, so I thought you have got the concept, means what are actually these in terms of the nomenclature. Often we have understood certain of the names, such as what are actually the Caryolus, Laniolus. Often we have understood about what things. Often we have understood about the certain types of the achievements which were actually being done. With reference to whom? With reference to the Caryolus, Laniolus. Often we have understood about what are actually the meaning of the nomenclature as well as the rules of the nomenclature. So this is somewhat the condition. So you could often write these. So if you like the word with reference to the education as well as the lectures as well as the videos, so you could often subscribe, like as well as comment below in the text. Thus I will be knowing that what concept actually you are hungry for, or what haven't you understood or either got. So very thank you. With reference to what? With reference to the RAHUL ANAND tutorial. So very thank you. Please like, subscribe as well as share. Very thank you.